Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm Jeff Howard, and I've got producer Samantha Baugnon on Zoom. Hey, how are you?
Hello, I'm so good. How are you?
Excellent. Well, I will be able to introduce you even better because this is my second try at it, because the podcast before this one was an interview with you all about you and the film Homeschooled, which is a feature documentary that you are a producer on. People should go to the clickable link for homeschooledthemovie.com and at homeschooledthemovie for social media. Film looks fantastic. It's coming out June 1st. Everyone should support it, rent it. Support indie film, a couple bucks to watch something on a VOD service, whether it's Apple or Amazon Prime or whatever. Just support indie film, You don't even have to leave home to rent a fascinating documentary. Homeschooled gives away, I think, the subject, and it's insightful and enlightening, and everyone should check it out. And in the meantime, this podcast I call a 4 Questions podcast, because these episodes of the podcast, instead of being about your film, it's about your taste in films. So you're going to answer 4 little questions, and I know they're not, it's always tough to come up with a list, but I know you were prepared. So it's name 3 favorites. You don't have to name the 3 best films of all time. They could be what you consider the 3 best of all time, but just 3 films that you love. A film that's underrated, a film that's overrated, and a lesser-known film that people should seek out. So you want to just dive in?
Yeah, I have to preface this that it always depends on my mood. I'm such like a mood person. I definitely have favorites, but right now, in this moment, my 3 favorite, it's so hard to choose, but I love the movie Begin Again. I don't know if you've seen it or yeah.
I made this huge, I had a massive reaction to that because that's an amazing film. That's the Keira Knightley, Mark Ruffalo.
Correct. Yes.
That is an amazing film.
Yeah,
the only reason I saw that movie, I didn't know it existed, and it was playing on repeat in a cruise ship cabin TV.
That's amazing.
And we saw the ending of it, and then we saw it the whole way through the next night. And I'm like, how come I haven't heard of this film? This is beautiful.
I almost thought to put it as my lesser known film as well, but I absolutely love it. The acting's fantastic, and I'm obsessed with music. I have no musical ability myself, so I'm obsessed with it within other people. So when you can combine film and music well, I just love it. And honestly, when I tell people that's one of my favorites, I would say 90% of people have never heard of it, which is so sad. So everyone check it out. You said,
if you have any who doesn't think they like music, but it is sincerely a film. It's a film about Keira Knightley plays a singer-songwriter and Ruffalo's a producer. And there are not musical scenes where they're singing, but there are songs about the creation of music and the performance of music that I don't think have ever been done better than that film.
Yeah, I agree. And yes, like you just noted, it's not a musical. It's them like creating an album and her kind of, getting to record in recording booths, but it's also about Mark Ruffalo's home life and his family and the grittiness of, are they in New York? I assume it's New York, which I love a backdrop of New York City, which is so fun. And I feel like the city is kind of another character in the film as well.
Absolutely. So, all right. Yeah. Well, good start to the list. You get 2 more.
So that's one of them. I love the movie Booksmart.
I'm with you.
So wildly funny. I just rewatched it again last week and I was just dying laughing. And again, another one some people have heard of, some people haven't. It's just hilarious. And I think the writing is so good and it's just a good time. And it's all about female friendship, which I think is cool. and it ends well. It's just a good movie. And I've never laughed so hard in a movie before.
Just a fan. There's we could discuss that film for an hour.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with that film, and I'm with you. I was one of those people running around going, how come it's not nominated for Best Picture? Like
Yeah.
it was that good. It's that good, and the world needed that film. Directed by Olivia Wilde, right?
Yeah, that was her directorial debut before she did what's Don't Worry, Darling, which it's a complete, those are so different, which I love that.
By the way,
Because
Don't Worry, Darling could be like one of my underrateds because I think everyone missed
yeah.
out on how genius it was.
Yeah, I think everyone was just focused on whatever drama was going on between the cast at the time. And
There was
it
a little
was,
distraction. She couldn't resist
yeah,
Harry.
yeah, or so they say, you know.
Well,
Who
with
wouldn't?
apologies to because it's but how many famous male directors have dated their female star and no one had a problem with it?
There you go. There it is.
Because that's a
Exactly.
fact.
That's true. That's so true. Okay, well, that's my second. And my third is The Edge of 17. Have you seen that
I have
movie?
not seen Edge of 17.
So I believe that was like 2018. It's Woody Harrelson and Haley Steinfeld and Haley Lou. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name. Robertson. She was in the second season of The White Lotus. Haley Lou Richardson. Something. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on your last name, Haley. But I absolutely love it. Haley Steinfeld. I've been obsessed with her for a very long time. So I do also Haley Lou Richardson. Yes, it's just so I don't even know how to explain it. It's very indie. It's also very underrated. I feel like all of these are a little underrated as well.
I would agree, and I haven't seen that one.
It's
And
just the acting is so good, and
you know, we've got a 17-year-old, and she just went to grad night at Disneyland on Friday and saw Haley Steinfeld and whoever her famous boyfriend is. I'm like, I haven't heard of the guy. She's like, he's an NFL player.
yeah.
But
But she just kills
I'm gonna insist
it.
that we watch this film.
Yeah, and I feel like she could have been nominated for so many things, but because it was kind of a indie film that flew under the radar a little bit, it just didn't get the traction. And on that note, well, you know what's funny is now that I'm thinking about it, Haley Steinfeld was also in Begin Again. She was the daughter of Mark Ruffalo. That's so funny. If you couldn't tell, I think she's a great actress. And on that note, I do have to shout out Sinners. I just saw Sinners for the originality of it being like a vampire movie, and that also has music involved. So you can see a through line here. So I just had to shout out that one as well.
No, amusingly, for those who can't tell by my voice, I'm just getting over the flu. I had a date with my wife to see Sinners last Friday, and instead we were in separate bedrooms, laying there with fevers. What are you gonna
Man,
do?
well,
So I got to see Sinners.
you're gonna see it, and it's very original. I loved it.
And finally, after I see Sinners, I will confess. Look, I'm just old and uncool. I know Haley Steinfeld's name, and if I was in line behind her at the supermarket, I wouldn't know. So after I see Sinners, I'll know what she look. I'll know who she is because like when my 17-year-old's like, I saw Haley Steinfeld, I'm like, awesome. Who?
Cool, man.
But now you told me I saw her as Mark Ruffalo's daughter. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. I also I watch so much film and TV. I can pick people off the street that friends and families like they would have never noticed, you know.
Yeah.
So
well, and my problem is instead of watching new movies, I keep re-binging Key and Peele. So I don't get to see the hit, cool new stuff. But anyway, all right, excellent. Well, that's 3 great films. Now you get to name a film you feel is underrated.
I mean, all of those are a little underrated, but I was thinking of the movie Dan in Real Life. I believe it was 2007, 2009, something around there. It's Steve Carell, so many people in it. Britt Robertson, Dane Cook, when he was still acting. If I don't know if he is anymore. Sorry, Dane Cook. I just love that movie. It's just so good to watch. And I mean, I was pretty young. I was a teenager when I saw it. And I just love the nuance of the characters and just what's right, what's wrong to do in this kind of crazy, weird situation of Steve Carell's character had lost his wife many years prior, has 3 daughters, and then on their way to like Thanksgiving at this cabin, he meets this woman in a bookstore and he's like, it's the first time he's like felt anything since his wife had passed years ago. And then they have a whole kind of afternoon together. And then he leaves to go off to the cabin. Come to find out his brother is actually dating that woman. And his brother is the Dane Cook character. So it's not as deep of a relationship as it is with Steve Carell's character. So it's a whole thing of like all that and the family antics. And I just loved being like, I loved Britt Robertson in that. She's so dramatic and like crazy, but that was one of the first movies where I was like, oh, I want to be an actress like her. Like she's so insane in it, but how fun, you know?
For sure. And the woman is Juliette Binoche. Yeah. So
yes.
And that's one of them, all time. Just
she's amazing.
Sometimes it's unfair when these Europeans like, take all our jobs. Just kidding. But just amazing.
Only if they're
actor.
good.
Amazing actor. Amazing cast, actually. I'm looking at the whole cast. You have people like Amy Ryan and Diane
Alison
Weiss.
Pill. Some great people, and that was quite a long time ago now.
I remember when it came out. It didn't get what it deserved. Good underrated. All right. Next question's overrated.
So I had a little bit of a hard time with this. I put Avatar, but don't get me wrong. I do think it's beautifully shot and I understand why it got the hype. But when I saw it, it was a few months after it had come out. So it had, if you guys remember at the time, everyone was talking about it all the time. It's the best movie ever. So amazing. So I had the highest of high expectations. And I rewatched it recently, like 10 whatever years later. And I'm like, this is a good movie. But I just think I would have liked it more if I went in with no expectations. But that's why I have to see movies when they come out, because now social media, I get on social media a lot and it will talk about the films or whatnot. So
yeah, I know the expectation game is the worst, right?
Exactly.
The best experience is to walk into a theater and let the film do its job. It just starts and you just start learning about it then.
Exactly.
With no preconceptions. Yeah, Avatar. Funny, I've been on both sides of the Avatar debate because I thought it was actually not respected enough when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
But it is sort of I almost see it as a period piece for that time because I'm not sure how well it holds up today.
That's funny.
But I'll just amusingly, when everyone was like, oh, it's just Pocahontas, I'm just Pocahontas. And I was like, I just love to say to people, I know I'm so tired of films about quadriplegic war veterans getting to live again in a virtual reality. Like, I've seen that too many times. And they're like, oh, I don't mean that. Like, I mean, that is the story. But needless to say, there's always thievery in film. And the Pocahontas thing was,
Yeah.
Sometimes I thought the Pocahontas criticism was actually a little prejudiced, like just saying, oh, anytime there's indigenous people, let's just compare it to another indigenous person story. But anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
But good choice for sure. And needless to say, I got no interest in the sequels.
I didn't watch it. Not yet. I mean, I'm sure I will one day, but
if it had come out a year or two later, I would have been all about it. But
yeah, it was like, 15, 12 years later, something like that.
I mean, a lot more.
20?
Yeah, it's
I don't
crazy.
know.
I won't even bother looking it up.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got one question left. And of course, yeah, you almost pre-covered it, but that is a lesser known film for people to seek out.
So I believe it's a lesser known film. I could be wrong, but it's called The Fallout. It came out, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. I know it's on Max now. So it's with Jenna Ortega and Maddie Ziegler and some other great people. But when I saw this movie, so this was Jenna Ortega before Wednesday, before everyone knew her name. Yes, she had been in quite a few things at that point. But I remember seeing the movie and I texted my production company, K Factor Films, and I was like, we need to get Jenna Ortega in one of our movies now because I guarantee you she's going to blow up in the next few years. And then, of course, like a year later, she's doing Wednesday, or 2 years later, whatever it was. And now I feel like everyone knows who she is because of that. And I like to take a little credit for being like, this girl, she's gonna do it. Cause that movie, oh my gosh, I've watched it quite a few times and it just hits so hard.
It is a brilliant movie. It's everything about that movie's fantastic, actually. That film means a ton to me because when it came out, it probably is lesser known. But we bothered to watch it with our high school aged kid when it came out. And I can spoil it, right? Like it's not a spoiler.
Course, yeah.
The very first scene, the film is about two characters who bond during a school shoot. Thank God someone finally made a film about this horrible American tradition of school shootings. And instead of making it all about the build up to the shooting, and then the shooting is act 3, the shooting is the very first scene, and then it's how it's affecting everyone's life after, that's the important story.
Yeah. And it was just cool how the main girl's best friend ends up being like the kind of spokesperson guy. Like, we need to make change. This is a horrible thing that happened. I'm lucky to have survived. And now I'm going to like make political change and stuff. And she has a completely different reaction of like going downhill spiral, PTSD, all of that. And then finding comfort in this other person who happened to be in the bathroom with her when it happened, you know? And then even the ending, it ends so well because the school shootings haven't stopped. And basically, it ends in a similar way. Not that there's another shooting at her school, but just that it continues to happen. And basically, I feel like it shows that survivors of shootings, every time there is one, they almost live that trauma over again, just when they're maybe making some headway. And I just thought it was brilliant. I love Megan Park, and I'm kind of trying to follow in her footsteps. She wrote it and directed it, I believe. And I just thought it was so cool because I knew her from a teenage TV show I watched where she played like a stuck-up, silly, blonde Christian character, and now she's making all these great movies. She also made My Old Ass, which was last year and did super well, at least in the festival circuit. And that one was great too. But yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I just pulled her up, by the way, and she was in, if I can share it, a film that I saw at Sundance in 2007 called Charlie Bartlett that I think everyone in the world should have seen, and no one did.
Yes, I forgot.
You saw
about
Charlie
that.
Bartlett?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That film?
Yes.
These teen films... These films about high school age kids should be huge. They should be part of our vernacular like Breakfast Club, but...
I agree. And I just think they're getting more and more real, whereas I feel like 10, or maybe not 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it was all, I don't know. You just didn't see their voices as much. At least when I was that age.
I love a high school film, whether it's comedic or tragic or a mixture, because it really is one of the talk about an important phase of life.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it too. I feel like when I look at what I listed as my favorites, it's a lot of the films. I'm like, oh, it's a lot of high school age,
A lot of coming of age stories.
Yeah,
Even
which,
Begin Again is a coming of age later in life.
That's right. Yeah, figuring it out. So
Dan
that's
in
my
real life,
niche,
I mean, I guess coming of age is such a funny term because, right? Even
coming
Dan in
of
real life,
age
it's
at
about
any
age he's coming to.
Yes, exactly. Just trying to figure yourself out, I think, is what I love about movies.
You know, not to sound like an old man for the 17th time, but we find out as we get older that figuring yourself out thing
never ends.
I think my mom is doing that at 84.
Exactly.
And thankfully, she doesn't know how to listen to podcasts, so she doesn't know that I just told the world she's 84.
There's always another chapter. You're starting and beginning, and yeah.
There really is. And we never stop changing.
Exactly, and I'm glad for it. I hope I never stop changing and growing.
Yeah, growing and absolutely. All right, Samantha, well, that was a lot of fun. You've made me wish I could just take the whole week off and watch. Man, I haven't seen Booksmart. Funny thing is that I haven't seen it since the second time I saw it, and that was on an airplane. I was like, I'm just going to watch this again on the airplane.
So good.
And I'm sure the person sitting next to me was really annoyed by the amount of times I was laughing out loud, but
I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, I got to watch that again. But I really have to check out Edge of 17. Wow. All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
I will do my closing spiel, which is first, everyone should check the links in the show notes and watch Homeschooled the movie. It's just Homeschooled is the title. Homeschooled the movie is the social media and website. So those are clickable links in the show notes. Thank you, Samantha, for being on the Discover Indie Film Podcast.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone who is currently listening. If you want to learn, please like and subscribe. I probably forgot that the first time because it's not on my notes. But like and subscribe. If you want to learn more about the podcast, go to discoverindiefilm.com. If you want to check it out on social media, it's at DIFWins. DiscoverIndieFilm.org is our nonprofit that runs 2 festivals in the LA area, both ranked in Film Freeway's top 100 best reviewed. So that's Film Invasion Los Angeles every June. That's filminvasionla.com and at Film Invasion LA on social media. Sherman Oaks Film Festival in December. That's it's ShermanOaksFF.com and at ShermanOaksFF on social media. Both are linked from DiscoverIndieFilm.org. I'm just trying to mention the nonprofit more because we kind of kept it in the background the first 9 years, and this is year 10, and it's like, yeah, we got to start taking advantage of nonprofits.
Show it off. Yeah.
Show it off. You know, we are a nonprofit for the arts. And the last thing to mention is, I mentioned those 2 sibling festivals. They've got a cousin coming next year, Film Invasion, Lima, Peru, January 16th and 17th down in Lima. I'll see everybody there. Let's just all fly to Lima and have a wonderful weekend of cinema in the Spanish Quarter downtown where it's like the theaters where there's like the National Museum of Peru and stuff. There's all the cultural stuff is right there. So I'm told it just could not be more beautiful.
Okay, I gotta go.
All right.
I gotta go to Peru. You know, you're convincing me.
You know, there's documentaries to be made about Peru, I'm sure, but not that you only make documentary, you make everything. All right. Well, Samantha, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for listening.